What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sam, or Sos, however you want to call me, and you're now watching an Elite Exchange. This is an important episode, a dope episode that I'm looking forward to putting together for you guys. And it's a special one because it's the first episode. It's the first official episode. And I have my first official guest, my brother, my light-skinned brother, my light-eyed brother, the light-skinned Trey team, my frat brother, fellow entrepreneur, fellow New Yorker, Duke, Mr. Isaiah Duke, Bodega Duke, BENT Ent Duke. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, I'm chilling, bro. It's been a minute. Bro.
It's been a minute, man. I'm great. I'm glad to be able to catch up with you and come watch you do what you do.
Yeah.
You know, when I first met you, I don't think this was a part of either one of our plans.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Ball was still very
Ball
much life
was
at
life,
that time.
man. Ball was life. I
Ball was life
remember
at that
bringing
time.
you out to participate in some of the basketball tournaments at AIC at UMass. We're both members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. That's what brought us together. And so just talk to me about your transition from a basketball player, athlete, to now being an entrepreneur in Boston. What's that transition been like for you?
Listen, it wasn't easy. Obviously, when you go to like a Division III school, like the odds of you like getting into the league are like super, super, super slim. You know what I mean? So my focus at the time, when we had first met, was just like, yo, I'm gonna go overseas, play ball over there. God had different plans. I ended up having my daughter at the time, after graduating school. From there, I was just like, look, like I got to put the ball down for a little bit. These bills got to get paid. Baby girl got to eat. So, for me, it just kind of was like just kind of just life, just being like, yo, like this is not meant for you right now. Like something else is, you know what I mean? So that door was closing for me. So for me, I was a little depressed at the time. I was like, yo, what gig can I get like to transfer my business skills that I picked up at Emmanuel College, and also, my basketball skills that I was so passionate about. Like what industry can I kind of go into? The first thing that I picked up instantly was sales. So my first gig in sales was working for a nonprofit, going from door to door, rain, sleet, hail, snow, trying to hit a quota. Then from there, like I knocked on the right door one day, ended up getting hired by Santander Bank, as a personal banker, just because the president of the bank liked my pitch. You know what I mean? So, I'm out there, wet papers and all, like trying to get a quota, and dude like really looked out for me, having sent him his resume and what so have you. So from there, I kind of did banking for a little bit, kind of like really felt like it wasn't for me. So I started to do some more research to see what else would be out there, kind of in the sales realm, because I was pretty consistent and pretty good at hitting my quotas wherever I was at. So from there, I picked up a gig at a small, IT sales firm. Spent some time there. Got a call from a big IT sales firm, Oracle. Working with them for a couple years, and then I just started to just really just be in the industry, for like a smooth like 8 years, just doing like IT sales on the phone, like calling people, selling cloud. You know what I mean? So, like for me, like while I was in the industry, I didn't realize how cutthroat it was. So even though I would have like a solid year, like if the next year was slow, it was slow for me. Like my job was done. So I would get cut, just like I would get cut from a team if I wasn't performing.
Right.
And then I would have to go on to the next gig and then go on to the next gig. So for me, like I kind of got tired of going through this cycle. And then I started to tap into one of my other skills, which was my people skills. So for me, when I was in college, as alphas, we threw parties. I mean, we stayed up late, we threw parties. We made sure we graduated, but we threw the best parties. You know what I mean? So for me, like I was like, okay, like, just off the rip, when I threw my first party, as an undergrad, it sold out, and for some reason, like I just felt like it was just just urge to just do it again. So I did a few more parties while I was in undergrad, and then after I graduated, I was like, okay, like how can I do this and actually like make money like and profit from it? So what started as like a side gig at the time, working in small like restaurants, 150, 200 people, to now being where we're at today, 10 years later.
10 years is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
It flies.
in a house of
Time
blues,
flies, bro.
putting on for 2,000 people. It's just like, it's just been a journey. So for me, like, a lot of the doors that I was entering while I was in the IT industry kept closing on me,
Yeah.
and I couldn't figure out why. And then a year ago, I took a leap of faith and started doing this full time. And now I'm here. A year later, like still doing it fine. You know what I mean? Comfortable. I mean, not too comfortable because
Yeah.
I still want a lot more out of it. But yeah, man, that's kind of like high level of the
Yeah.
story
There you go.
that you know what I mean, that of me kind of just playing the hand that I was dealt.
So when it comes to where we're at right now, we're at All the Fields Fest,
Mhm.
and it's curated by BENT Entertainment.
Yep.
How was it building BENT Entertainment, and how did you find your tribe? Because you can't do this all alone,
Yeah.
and you're not from Boston,
Right.
and
Right.
you're
That
from
part.
New York, and
That part.
New York
Yep.
and Boston have I feel like a lifelong rivalry when it comes to everything,
Yep.
sports, music, culture, clothes, everything is like,
Yep.
well, you
Yep.
could tell somebody's from New York, you could tell they're from Boston. So like, how
Yep.
did you, one, how was it going about finding your tribe to help you establish BENT Entertainment? And two, how was it going from just, let me just do a BENT brunch, or
Yep.
let me just do a regular party, to branding and All the Fields Fest and making an R&B party?
Yep.
Just walk me through, one, finding a tribe, and then two, curating All the Fields Fest.
Yeah, I think I was fortunate enough for kind of like my tribe to find me versus
Mm-hmm.
me finding them. Like I was just so passionate about this shit that I was just like, yo, like, like I want to work with people that are like-minded individuals, but also like are pretty like well known in the industry. Like
Right.
if you walk into certain rooms and you say their names, like it'll ring bells. You know what I mean? Like so, TT, who's like my right hand, um, before I knew who she was, I was really tight with her sister,
Right.
Amira.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I was talking to Amira one night. I was like, yo, I'm trying to start this business. I really want to expand on what I'm doing. Like, do you know anybody that can work with me? And she was like, yo, like holla at TT. My sister, like she's a social butterfly. Like she's always partying, always outside. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I remember first like when I put TT on years ago, like she was just consistently like just bringing out like 50 to 100 people like by herself,
Mm-hmm.
just telling people like, yo, be here. It didn't even have to be like a social media blast or like any special like marketing tactics. Like it was just all just love and just all just organic. You know what I
Right.
mean? So for me, like that kind of like was a match made in heaven right there. And then as we were going through the industry a few years later, we had a few people that worked with us that kind of came and went. So I would say that's kind of the trial and error of the business. You think people are doing one thing in the industry that could potentially benefit you, and then you put them on, and it doesn't necessarily align at that time. So I would never talk bad about anybody or say like
It's just
somebody
the nature of the
was.
business.
It's just the
People
nature of the
come and
business
go.
that things don't just always align the way
Right.
that you picture it. So TT aligned, Armaya, who's from Indonesia, she's our marketing director. She found us like I think 2 years ago. This is like when our following was like around like 8 to 9,000. We had some good momentum, but we didn't really have any good quality marketing material to put out
Right.
there, which is super important for the business. So Armaya had reached out to us and was like, yo, like, what's up? You need some marketing? I'm just like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like, so she came and met me, at one of my events, and she was like, yo, like, I can do X, Y, Z for you and help you, like, improve your following and reach a larger base. Like, I blink, and we're, like, at 15,000 followers, like, leveraging her content and things
Yeah.
that she's capturing for us. So,
Just learning those tricks. There's sometimes, people that you add on your team that are
yep,
able to do things that you can't, and not even that you can't, but you just your thought process hasn't brought you there.
Exactly.
And, you know, that's what they're there for.
Exactly.
So that's really dope that you was able to find that with her.
Exactly. So after that, like we just recently hired a few brand ambassadors. We got my guy Kyle, who does the whole fitness thing, does modeling, goes to every carnival. Like he's just a turn up guy. We got a few other recent brand ambassadors that we hired that are young go getters that just love having fun. And they're tapped into like that TikTok market that again, this is a tool that I don't know how to use. So this is me leveraging like folks that are good at something and could potentially align with the business. So they're just starting out, but I see a lot of potential with that. And then we got Jindy and Alexa, who I met through mutual friends as seniors in college. Now they run all of our VIPs and they work the door for all of our events. Like they're literally like our most trusted people because they got to handle the money, So yeah, like honestly, like it really like my tribe just was organically just found like over time. It's not something I sought out for. I thought I could do this by myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
But a few times I was just like, again, just life just throw shit at you. You hit a wall and you're just like, all right, like how do I navigate and get around? So yeah, man, I just been blessed in the journey overall. So I know there was part two to the question.
Yeah, no, part two. Part two is really is tell me about all the Phil's Fest. I'm an R&B lover.
Yep.
That's I don't know if that's a light skin thing. I don't know what that is, but I love R&B. I go to the gym. I'm listening to R&B in my headphones. You may think I'm listening to some crazy shit, or I'm listening to R&B and then like sprinkling some DMX and 50 in there, but it's R&B that I'm listening to. So there's been a lot of R&B parties that have been popping up in New York specifically. There's a lot of traveling R&B parties that are trying to get off the ground, and you're doing something in Boston that I think is really dope, especially because of the history here in Boston. New Edition is one of the biggest and best groups of all time, and this is where they're from. So just tapping back into, I guess, that R&B, those R&B roots of Boston, and curating something like All the Phil's Fest. Tell me what the thought process was behind actually putting together an R&B festival. Why you chose R&B as, the genre to really highlight.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, I want to say like maybe like 6 years ago, like I would have never saw myself doing an R&B party. Like I grew up on R&B. I love R&B, but like for me, it was at the time when I had first started the business, it was about breaking hip hop nights into spaces that wouldn't necessarily host them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and these are like really nice spaces that, people of color and the culture just they're just not used to being in. So for me, it was super important to expose the culture to new things that are right here in the city.
Right.
Because they're, we're kind of like getting herded like sheep out here. Like it's like, oh, we're here Friday, we're at this spot Saturday, we're at this spot Sunday, and then it's kind of like, all right, cool, like copy and paste the next weekend, copy and paste the next weekend. It's like there's so many different beautiful restaurants and beautiful lounges that are opening that we don't get access to because they feel like we'll get in there and we'll mess it up.
Right.
So for me, it was about proving folks wrong that there was a demographic out here that could actually come out there and enjoy themselves. So for me, like it was super important to do that and do hip hop. Now, my DJ TGIF, who's been my guy since high school, I brought him out here and just one random event years ago. He started just doing R&B in the middle of his set. And I'm just like, yo, like I got a bottle of champagne, like holding it. I'm bobbing to some trap, and then he switched to R&B, so I stopped. And I'm like, bro, what you doing? And I see everybody in the party start singing along. Like it legit just turned into a family, like a family like atmosphere. And I'm just like, yo, like the light bulb went off. He looked at me. He was like, yo, dude, we got to do an R&B party. I was like, yeah, we got to do an R&B party. So we jump started this R&B party in collaboration with a group out here called NYA. The name of the R&B party was Brown Sugar Fett. Brown Sugar Fetty. And then, so basically with Brown Sugar, it was like our tester of like, all right, like cool, like we got access to a few music venues. Let's crack open the music venue and say, and just do an R&B night, spin R&B all night and see how it plays out. And boy, first one off the rip, sold out quick. You know what I mean? Like, so right there, it was like, all right, cool. Like, let's keep doing it. Let's do it like once a month because we don't want to like do it so much that people out here would get tired of it because our demographic isn't that wide when it comes to people of color in Boston. So it's like there's only but so much that you can feed them until they get tired of it. And it's like, all right, this shit is played out. You know what I mean? So we did it. We did it once a month and it was working out beautifully. We were in a space that held like 300 people, consistently selling out, and then we got the opportunity to do a space that held 500. That was in collaboration with Live Nation, and then we were selling that out. You know what I mean? So it was just like, yo, like it just kept coming, and then from there, unfortunately COVID hit.
Yeah.
Everything got put to a pause, and so did that R&B party, right? So when I got out of COVID, it was like, yo, like how can I bring those vibes back? The group that I was working with at the time, they didn't feel comfortable putting themselves out there and doing such a large event post COVID because they were thinking about the safety of the patrons, which is like super like understandable. For me, like I'm a businessman, so I gotta at least try it to see if there's a workaround. So obviously, we came back to the same space. We started a joint called Bay Season, which was like a spinoff of Brown Sugar. Sold it out. Cool. All right. Well, now there's another R&B party going on in the city called Silk,
Yeah.
and they're consistently selling out as well. And they're doing similar numbers to us. So for me, I wanted to do a big collaboration that was to basically create like the big sister or like the mother of like these two dominant
Right.
R&B parties in the city, which was all the fields. So I'm bringing in my guy Real P, who's a DJ, love him. Rob, who was our point of contact for Hennessy out here, Hennessy sponsorships. Now he's one of the owners of Hugh Back Day. He's doing his thing. And then it's me and TGIF, who were basically the points of that R&B party on our side. So we built this juggernaut of an R&B party called All the Fields. We cracking it open at here at House of Blues. First one, do 900 people. And then Silk had got a call to do an even bigger, well, not a bigger party, but a party of the same size, but of their own brand, right? So it was a like super incredible opportunity. They brought us on to collaborate with them on it.
That's fine.
And then we just sold out. You know what I mean? Like we sold out the next joint. So then it came to like we had a hard decision to make to whether we wanted to keep all the fields an R&B party and just be on Silk with them, or if we wanted to let all the fields be all the fields and then Silk be Silk, and we still be like two juggernauts of R&B parties like coexisting in the same space. So I just made the decision to just take a risk and run it myself. You know what I mean, with my team. Long behold, next event, 1,400 people. Next event, 1,700 people. Next event, we sell out the fucking House of Blues. Like we sell out the House of Blues. So now it's just like, all right, like I'm having conversations with Live Nation about potentially putting this on tour because I'm starting to see the value in bringing the community together, not just here, but in other cities, other states, other countries. I see what R&B only does, and it's super dope what they do. But I think there's things that could be done better that I feel like that I can offer from my end, to again be another juggernaut of an R&B party coexisting and still like doing like super well. So that's kind of like, I know you ain't asked that question yet, but that's kind of like where we going with it.
I definitely appreciate you throwing that in there because it is something I wanted to ask was, about the future of All the Fields Fest and, seeing it as a traveling party is exactly what I seen it as. I remember speaking to you over the summer. It was after one of your events and you were just telling me how, um, you was outside on the phone and you saw like a girl had walked up to the security line and said, "Yeah, I'm on Duke's said I'm on Duke's list." And
Yeah.
and you standing right there like,
Yeah.
I don't really know who this is, but go ahead, you could be on Duke's list.
Yeah,
Like,
nah, it's facts.
so
That's facts.
I know that there's a lot of just doing events. There's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of crazy moments. Just just give me one of your most memorable experiences doing events out here in Boston.
Oh man, most memorable. Um, I would say the most memorable would be the rooftop joint that we were doing this past summer. We had this really dope space in South Boston, and like if you know the history of South Boston, you know like black people don't do events in South Boston. So we ended up booking this spot, this rooftop spot, and man, like we were just gonna do like keep it private, do like maybe 100 or so people. Dude, we had like 400 people show up to the rooftop. I mean, like over capacity, to the point that we ran out of liquor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so for me, like, I'm out here, like, I just got a business credit card. I'm like, yeah, we about to swipe this
about
today.
to go crazy tonight.
So I ran.
You having a good time tonight.
So I ran to the liquor store down the street, like, and just bought just cases of Casamigos. And just like, I hold that event so dear to me because we hired the whole staff from the bartenders to the bottle girls to the door girls. Like we had established so many relationships in the industry over time that I was able to just send a text out and just like boom, like we were staffed. I mean security, like we were staffed. And then yeah, like it was like the perfect party. And yeah, nothing crazy like happened after that. It was just like that bill, like and me getting my first business credit card and having to swipe for like 3 bands, to get cases of Casamigos.
Here we go.
And I'm just like, yep, it's maxed out already, but we gonna run it back. We're gonna run it back. That would be one of the crazy ones. Another crazy one that I think a lot of people would remember, would be our, this is when we were doing BENT brunch, and it was our first outdoor location. It was at this like low key restaurant out here in Boston. They're not around anymore. And again, like they were expecting like 200 people to come out. We did 600 people on the patio. You know what I mean? Like outdoors. Like people were like, "Yo, I've never been to a party like this. We feel like we're in like DC or Atlanta." And like that's how we want people to feel. You know what I mean? Like because again, we're putting them in spaces that you would only be able to go to in a DC or Atlanta and be okay. Like it's kind of like the norm. Like you could go there and like hear some trap, but also hear a little like oops oops and it still be a vibe and people are drinking and having a good time. Like I've been to those spots, and it's just like for me, like I want to bring the vibe that those spaces have to Boston because you got so many of those people that are in other cities, people of color that are in those cities that are from those cities that are moving here for their career jobs, and they're looking like for places to go, places to gather and meet more people that look like them. So yeah, that's super important for us, bro. So those would definitely be my two like most, and they both were brunches too, like going crazy. So yeah.
Well, I wanted to one thank you for allowing me to come and experience all of Phil's Fest with you, and then also for being the first guest for the first episode of
that's crazy.
My new podcast. I remember speaking to you about it a while ago about my plans of how I wanted to do it, and the reason why I'm doing it is because I have a whole lot of people in my network that I feel like they're elite in the fields that they work in, and I wanted to come out here, speak to you, shine a light on you, what you guys got going on out here, and experience the vibes as well. We're going to get a nice little recap of the night. Expecting like 2,000 people tonight. So, I just want to leave this with thank you and much gratitude and good luck to you with everything else you got going on, bro.
Yeah, you too, bro. Love, man. We good.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.